In our video number 25, we are going to learn the last of the frequency diagrams called the arithmetic line graph or a time series graph. As the name tells us, it's a time series graph, so it is something like chronological. Okay, so it will give us the data pertaining to different periods of time. For example, when the values of a variable are recorded with respect to the time of its occurrence meaning say 2010, 2011, number of years. It helps in understanding the trend, periodicity, etc. in the long run or term series data. So what was the trend from 2010 to 2019 of a particular product? So that can be understood using this arithmetic line graph. It could be export and import or fashion or price or whatever. The time period may be a year, a quarter, month, week, days, hours and so on. So hours you can relate it to temperature or rainfall, anything that is related to weather also. It has two variables. One is time and the other variable that is under study. So since we are talking about the time series graph, one of the variables is definitely time. So let's now understand this with the help of an example. So here we have the example. Prepare a time series graph to represent the data of imports and exports of a firm from 2010 to 2015. So since it's a time series graph, we are given time in years 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. Then we are given imports in crores of rupees, 4 crores in 2010, whereas exports in crores of rupees is 6 crores. So here we see that the exports are greater than the imports, which is very good for our economy. Exports should always be greater because we earn foreign currency through exports. Now in 2011 also we find exports are 14 and imports are 10. In 2012 exports are 12, imports are 8. And in 2013 exports are 20 crores and imports are 16 crores. In 2014 we find exports to be 22 crores and imports to be 18 crores. Likewise, in 2015, exports are 24 crores and imports are 20 crores. So what's the first thing that we do whenever we have to plot something on the graph is to write down the title. What can be the title? You can pick it up from the question. So it is a time series graph representing exports and imports. So we will write down here a time series graph showing exports and imports. Okay, so scale on the x-axis we will take 1 centimeter is equal to what will we take on the x-axis? As usual, year will be taken on the x-axis and both of them will be taken on the y-axis. So we can compare the imports and exports on the same graph. So here the scale is 1 centimeter is equal to 1 year starting from 2010. Then on the y-axis we are taking exports and imports. Exports and imports. This is how we represent exports as X and imports as M. So let's now write down on this graph on the x-axis year. Year is 1 centimeter, we have 2010. Now since this starts with 2010, what do? We draw a kink. So 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014 and 2015. So there ends the data 2015. Now on the y-axis we are going to plot export and import. So let's write down here export slash import. Okay, and you have to write here crores of rupees. Then here we will write down how all the numbers are multiples of 2. Or you can say 4. So if we write 4 crore, 4 2s are 8, 4 3s are 12, 4 4s are 16, 4 5s are 20, 4 6 are 24 and 4 7s are 28. I think that should be sufficient because the largest number here is 20. So now let's start plotting them. Imports in 2010 was 4 crore. So 2010 4 crore. 2011 it rose to 10 crore. So 10 will be somewhere more than 8 crore here. And in 2012 it came down to 8. So see, this tells us that the imports decreased from 2010 to 2012. Then 2013 it increased, doubled itself to 16. So 2013 16 is here. Then 2014 it increased slightly to 18. So from 16 to 18. Then 2015 it increased to 20. So it increased marginally to 20 crore. Now we will connect these dots using, let us say, another color or pencil. So let's do this. Here we have the imports. So we saw that imports had a fall somewhere and then it rose steeply up and then it kept on increasing. So now let's see what about the exports. The exports show 6 crore in 2010. So 6 crore would be somewhere up here. And in 2011 it rose to 14 crore. So 2011 it went up to 14 crore. And 2012 it came down to 12. So see, imports and exports, both of them had a fall in 2012. Then 2013 it increased to 20 crore. So somewhere here. And 2014 it increased to 22. And 2015 it increased to 24. So here we will use this color. So we find that there was a fall. It's somewhat parallel to the imports. So the trend can be seen that as imports increased, exports also increased, and when imports fell, exports also fell. So this is our export line and this is our import line. So this time series graph shows us the trend of exports and imports during 2010 to 2015 period. And this is how it was during that time period. Okay, so this is called the arithmetic time graph or time series graph. So with this we come to the end of all the frequency distribution curves.